What's up, everybody? And in this video, this is aimed for people who are at 0 to 5K a month with their SMA right now. So if you're actually looking to scale an SMA like I did from 0 to 40 grand a month, and that took me about 4 months to scale a brand new agency. So I'm going to be giving you exactly what I would do if I was to start again, just to you. This is just a full document walking you through everything I would do with the front end system, the actual conversion system, and the back end system. So let's get into the video. So this is a doc right here. It's over 2 pages, but let's actually just get straight into it. If you want this doc, you can just find it in the free link in the description right there. Just grab the doc completely for free. So in terms of the front end of the agency. So first, the most important thing in the agency space is the front end offer. So that involves a setup fee and some performance of some kind. So you'll actually hear experienced agencies charging 6 to 7K upfront for their services, and that's because they've been in the game for a while. They've actually been doing this for a long time. If you're a beginner, you can't do that. You have no testimonials, you have no experience, you have no idea what to do. So we need to structure an offer where it's very, very low risk for the prospect getting involved, and also incentivizes you to perform and actually learn the back-end system for you to deliver the results that you actually claim you need to. So in terms of a setup fee, this is the fee that you're going to charge to actually start the service, right? So the reason we don't want a setup fee that's literally $0 is the fact that the clients can ghost you unbelievably easily. So this is the worst part. If you have a setup fee that's $0, it's fantastic to get people in the door on board with your service, but it's just horrendous in terms of actually follow through with the actual onboarding call, etc. So in terms of setup fee, I always recommend something where it's very, very cheap, but it's just something to get them committed. So a few $100 setup fee is amazing, something like $200 to $500, and do everything else in performance. So that is it up front. And the reason is because we just need people in the door. We need to actually get people on the program for you to learn how to deliver the service you need to. So in terms of everything else on performance, this is the most important part of the offer, because each niche has different actual performance deals that they would like to do, because some niches are 15, 20K for a service and some are like $1,000, $2,000. So I'm going to give you some general guidelines when you're creating an offer for yourself, how to structure your performance side of the offer. So I'm going to go from probably the best solution here to the kind of most risky for them and harder to sign. So first off is a percent per close deal. So you generate them a deal and you get a cut of it. This can look like 5%, 10%, 15%. And again, you have to actually know your niche's profit margins, because if you're taking 15% of a deal, but they're only making 30% off of the profits of the actual deal you're getting them, then they're getting half of the actual profit taken. So it's very important for you to know your niche and what their profit margins are. So if they get like a 30% profit margin, you might want to take like 5% or something like that, because it's incredibly difficult for them to survive as a business if they're paying your ad spend and also you're taking half of their profit as well. So a percent fee per closed deal is fantastic if you're looking for something no risk, because again, there's nothing for them to pay you upfront or anything like that in terms of you directly. So it's fantastic that way. Next thing I would recommend is a fixed fee per closed deal. So this is like $500 per closed deal, regardless of the price, a fixed price. This is a bit more difficult than the last one, and that's because it could be a $1,000 deal or a $10,000 deal is still paying you $500. So again, if your client makes $5 grand or $8 grand, like guaranteed, every single deal they do, something like landscaping or something like that, where it's a big ticket size, this is very nice, because you can predictably, if you get them 2 a month, you're making $1 grand a month very predictably. It's very nice. Next you could do is a actual flat fee per appointment consultation. Appointments and consultations are usually very similar here. In real estate, this could be a home evaluation. In landscaping, it could be like appraisal of the yard or whatever you're doing in terms of your niche. So that is a fixed fee per appointment. This is more risky because you're not guaranteeing a profit, right? So appointments, there is a closing percentage which actually close and which don't, because sometimes they just get their home evaluated, etc., and they say, no, I want to move forward a few months, and it's kind of out the door, right? You're not getting the sale. So it's more risky because, again, you don't know the outcome. Next is even more risky, where it's a fixed fee per lead. So that is very uncertain, because if you have something like $50 per lead, but you only know about 10% of them are going to close, again, it's like 500. That it's the same thing as the appointment. So it's very risky, especially if your client isn't as good at closing. It's very, very hard to actually sell them on that compared to something like a commission per deal. And you probably can get objections, or it's like, why don't you just take a fixed percent per deal? Something like that. So it's very risky. I'd recommend a beginner, if I was you, to literally just take a fixed percent per closed deal. That is the most safe option you can possibly do. And especially if it's a big ticket size, that's also very beneficial for you, because if it's a 10 grand thing, you're getting $500 every time you close a deal. And the most important part of that as well is actually tracking your client's profit. The best way you can do this is a CRM, where you're actually tracking all the leads and where they're coming from and if they're closing, and the client just marks it if they're closing or not. And then as well, you could just make a Google Sheet if you don't have a CRM, and you can track it all on a Google Sheet. You can share it with the client, etc. And the most important part here is some people go, how are you going to track your client's leads? How are you going to know that when you get them something, they're actually telling you the right answer with that? They're actually telling you when something closed and they're not scamming you. The best way to do this is actually make something in the contract where they need to tell you, or whatever, the contract's terminated, or there's a fee for them not telling you and lying to you about it. And again, this is also why you need to actually qualify them on a sales call. If it's someone who's in the game for 1 month and they have no idea what you're doing, you might want to take a step back and go, hey, look, I don't think you're the right fit for our service. And again, it's hard when you're a beginner to do that because you want to get as many people in the door as possible. But it's really important for you to have at least something in the contract where if they violate it or they don't have something that they're tracking, that they actually have a repercussion for that. And they're incentivized to actually be honest and let you know. So next thing is going to be split testing the offer. Most important thing is taking a sufficient number of sales calls before making an adjustment in terms of your offer. Because I have people all the time, they're like, hey Joe, I took 5 sales calls with this one offer and I got 2 negative responses and 3 I couldn't handle the objections. And that's 2 sales calls. That's not enough volume. You need 20 to 30. I'm telling you, that might seem like a lot of sales calls, but the worst thing you can do is have a fantastic offer and you just get a batch of bad prospects actually on the call, and you make an emotional decision because you're getting a bad response. But in reality, you need to take 20 to 30 to actually have a good response, because again, there's regression to the mean, where you'll have 3 clients that close in a row, then you have 10 that all say something that's negative, and then 10 will tell you it's horrible, then 5 will tell you it's great, and then it's just a repeating cycle. That's how business works. You can never really predictively track something like that. So you need to take a sufficient amount of volume before changing your offer again. Like if you want to pivot from a fee per lead to a commission deal, then you're going to have to actually take a sufficient amount of volume on that one offer before switching it. So it's very important that you do that. And again, this is actually good to have a good outreach system because you're booking yourself a lot of appointments, and we'll get to that now. So in terms of outreach, I cannot give you, unfortunately, as I wish I could, a perfect outreach system no matter what to do, because every single niche is different. Every single prospect that's in different niches is going to be hanging out at different places. A realtor is always on their phone because they take everything through phone. Something like a roofer might be on email. Something like a gym owner might be on email as well. It's luck of the draw. You need to actually examine your niche and see what's the most popular outreach messages, where they're sending them, and what's going on with that. Because each niche is going to be different. You need to see where your niche is hanging out. Sometimes that takes testing or even talking to a lot of people that are in your niche. It's a great way of determining that. But the thing I can tell you that's probably going to work the best when you're starting off is going to be cold calling. And that's just because most businesses answer their phone because most of them are incentivized to answer the phone to get business. So you need to see what your niche actually is wanting the most, where they hang out, and do your outreach on that channel. So again, with scripts, do a sufficient amount of volume. And again, this is hard work and you're going to be pain avoidance at this thing that I'm telling you to do, but it's just unbelievably necessary, because if you make pain avoidance decisions, emotional decisions all the time, you won't have the right metrics for your business and the business won't grow. So please just put in that work to determine what script is going to work for each niche and which channel, because the best way to split test a script is just doing the amount of volume that's required. And you might do an outreach script that gets a 5% conversion, the next script can get you 6%, then the next script you test can get 4%. But you only know those numbers because you've called a sufficient amount of people. So it's great if you're actually getting hung up on a certain line of the script. Then next time, do a certain amount of split tests where you change that line and then get a different response. So this is up to you. You need to be adjusting all the time in terms of the scripts and test different scripts with actual volume. Please do volume for this stuff. So put in the work. Again, 300 to 500 cold calls, if you're doing cold calls for your niche, is a good number. That's what I tell people to do. 100 is just still not enough because there's days where it's bad days where the pickup rate's low, the appointment booking is really low. So please just do the amount of volume and get the sufficient response needed to actually adjust your script accordingly. Next, you're doing the outreach yourself for a while, and eventually there's going to be time where you're signing clients and you have the money to reinvest back to the business and actually hire a cold calling team. So the thing that's most important with this stuff is having good metrics yourself. So you need to be meeting, if not exceeding, your niche's standard for that actual outreach. So if you're getting a 5% ABR with cold calls, but everybody else in the nation is getting 3 to 4, you're probably good at it. And again, you need sufficient volume, again, to emphasize that, to actually examine to see if you're good or not. So please get a good ABR. Make sure you're actually skilled. You know how to handle objections in cold calls. And this is going to be applied to any channel, cold email, cold DMs. Just make sure you're good at it and you're actually booking appointments consistently before you teach anybody. And then you also do want to have a good sales system when you're hiring, because if you're paying them on commission, which most people do when you're hiring a cold calling team, a DM setter, they're usually in commission and you need to close those deals for them to get paid. So you must have a good sales system. So that's the next point after this. I'll get to that, having a good sales system. But be good at the thing, be good at whatever outreach you're doing before you're able to teach it. And my favorite thing here is creating a bunch of SOPs, and this is what we call standard operating procedures in business, where you basically go over the role in full. Again, training videos, provided script, the calendar booking, the end of day reports, all of these things, right? If you want me to do a video on SOPs, just let me know, I'll make one. But again, you need to teach them everything in terms of that role that they need to know, because it's worth the time when you're hiring multiple people not to spend 5 hours on each person teaching them those skills versus just making one doc that takes you 2 hours to make, and then you send everybody that doc and they basically transfer the skill from you to them. So you teach them how to do it with a Google Doc. My favorite way to do it, very valuable. Next, when you're hiring a cold calling team, you need to know leadership. And this was a kind of a paradigm shift for me when I was starting, because I made a big mistake with this. I'll transparently tell you with this, in that I was hiring cold callers when I started my real estate agency, and they would all churn out, because cold calling is a very, very difficult job, and churn just means they're leaving. It just means the percentage of them leaving. So cold calling is a very difficult job, and you need to keep them motivated in some way. You need to keep them in the game, weekly check-ins, weekly meetings, motivational text every morning. I found that was very helpful. But just some things like this to keep them accountable, to actually encourage them to get the results that they need to get. It's very important. All this stuff's very important. So please learn some leadership skills. Layla Hermosi, acquisition.com. My hat has some fantastic videos on this. I watch her videos on leadership. That's where I learn most of my stuff. So learn leadership when you're hiring. Very important. Next, when to do paid ads, because there's paid ads for your clients and there's paid ads for yourself. So for yourself, you actually need to have income coming in, because you don't want to have $750, $1,000 a month on paid ads when you're not seeing the return investment. The whole point of paid ads is to see the return investment, right? So most important thing is make sure you can close your leads. Again, paid ads leads are going to be a bit different than cold calling, because paid ads, there's actually people in pain that get them to buy, and they have a problem that need to be solved. So that's why they're booking themselves in. So it's a bit easier to close paid ad leads than cold calling or DM setting or something like that, because they book themselves in. But at the same time, you need to have a proven sales system, because you don't want to waste your money when you're actually running these ads. You need to be able to know, hey, look, if I get 10 people booking, I'm going to close at least one. I'm going to close at least 2. And then you can predictably actually know the return investment from the ads that you're running. And then see from that feedback, you can go, okay, I'm getting a 10x ROI in my ads. I can put more in the ad spend now because I know the actual feedback I'm getting back. So the best ratio, or the equation I can tell you for this, is CAC to LTV ratio. If you know what CAC means, it's a cost to acquire a customer. That's a short form of how much money does it cost to acquire a customer. So let's break down the numbers on that real quick. If you are running $750 in paid ads a month, and then you're acquiring on average 3 customers a month, right? And it makes you $2K setup fee, let's say, right? So you spent $750 and then got $6K back per person. So you signed 3 clients. That's nearly a 7x return investment, 7 or 8x. So that's good. That's a 7 to 8x return investment, right? And then LTV means the lifetime value of a customer. So what's the average cost of a customer over time? How much do they spend at your business on average per customer? Again, if you've been running this for a short period of time, you might not know this yet, but as you move on with the business, it's very helpful to know that ratio, the cost to acquire a customer versus how much you're making with that customer over time. Because again, if you're acquiring a customer $500 and they're making you $6,000 over time, 12x ROI with that. Very good. Very, very helpful. So calculate that ratio. Again, that's going to take you time, but make sure you have a good close rate. That's the number one tip for paid ads, I can tell you. Make sure you have a few clients, you know how to deliver the service, you have room on your calendar to actually get those sales calls booked in, and then as well, you can have the time to deliver the service from those paid ads, because it's just very helpful to actually know you're going to close those advertising leads that come in. Next is a conversion system. I talked about the front end system we just covered with the offer and the outreach, and next let's actually talk about the conversion system, which is the second part of it. So if you're going to be booking people in, you need to know that they're going to show up. So build a show up system. If you don't know how to build a show up system, I have a free course in the description, completely free. Just join that group and you'll have a free actual course on how to get people to show up to your meetings. But there's sales calls that are wasted if you're not showing up. Right? If you have a 50% show up rate and you can get that to 70%, that's a massive difference. It's an absolute massive difference because if you're booking 10 a day, 5 of them are showing up versus 7, that's extra 2. It's just a big difference, right? So the best way to do this is if you're using Calendly, again, you can apply this to any actual calendar software. Have reminders that are sent to them on SMS and email before they actually show up to the call. Reminding them again, do something like 24 hours, 12 hours, 1 hour. You can just see what I did in my module, but make sure you at least have some reminders being sent to them before the sales call so they actually know that you have the sales call. Because if you booked them 2 weeks before and you have a sales call, they're just going to forget about it and they will have no idea you have a sales call. They may be not adding it to the calendar. Very important to add those show-ups, those show-up reminders. Next is you need to build a pre-call video. This is fantastic to pre-handle objections. So objections are when they're on the sales call and they have a reason to not buy. So mainly, you can actually prevent these from happening. So prevention is the best actual thing you can do in this case. So you want to handle the objections on the pre-call video. So as an example, I was getting an objection all the time, real estate business when I was starting out. I don't want to pay any money up front. I don't want to pay money, like just pay me at the end. And then once I added that objection handle in the pre-call video about the setup fee, and I mentioned there is a setup fee, then they would understand that they do need to pay up front for the service because how valuable it is. It takes money to run the advertising, etc. XYZ reason that you come up with to handle the objection. So that objection was completely handled after make pre-call video. The way you can do is take more and more sales calls to actually continue building up that list of pre-handles in the pre-call video. So very helpful. The pre-call video also very much helps with trust in terms of you giving testimonials on the pre-call video, you giving history of the company, what you do, why you're special. Very helpful that stuff. Again, sales, a lot of it is trust, right? It's a bridge of trust in sales that actually you're transferring over to them, that they trust you. Very helpful. So if you want to see my sales process, I have a YouTube video on this right here. You can watch this one on my feed completely for free. Next, the most important thing here is when to hire a closer. And I put in brackets here, advanced 30K to 50K a month. Because again, if you don't know how to book appointments, you don't know your sales system yet, you just need the reps in, don't hire a closer. This is going to be for when you're a bit above, but it's very helpful for you to know this stuff before you get there, because then when you get there, you can know what to do. So take your first few hundred sales calls. Don't go, let's hire a closer off the bat. Don't do that. Sales is an insanely valuable skill to learn, and I don't regret taking hundreds and hundreds of sales calls before I hired a closer. It's unbelievably valuable because you know what they're doing. You can just directly teach the closer the objection handles that your sales process that you learn from. You can teach them the tonality. You can teach them all the history of the business, what you're saying to prospects, how you're handling those things, and just transfer it right to them. So I want you to actually get good at sales before you hire. And again, there's a misconception here where like, we want to hire everything right away. There's also a misconception where you go, don't hire anything at all. So my opinion here is that you need to be right in the middle. Again, you need to be good at the thing and take as many sales calls as possible, but don't wait until a year or two when you're in a business to hire. And that's just dumb, because if you can be at 50K a month when you're at 5K a month just by making one hire, it's worth it. So also, do not hire until you have enough upfront capital that your closer can also make a living from it, because if you have a $1,000 setup fee and they're getting commission $100, they're making $100 per close. That's not enough. That's not a livable thing. If they're making one close per day, $100 a day, it's like not the best. So I want you to be closing around 10 to 15% yourself, have enough deal size that you can give them a commission for, and enough volume from your outreach that I covered previously to actually book the closer's calendar out completely. Let's quickly move on into the back end. So, quick disclaimer. I did lead generation with paid advertising. There's plenty of other ways to get and deliver clients that is not with paid advertising. That's just what I do. So there's copywriting, there's freelancing, there's content systems. There's a lot of things, building out websites for the client that you can offer with your agency. But my favorite and my personal favorite and what I teach people to do is the paid advertising, because it's the best way to actually get a tangible, expected guarantee from the money they're spending versus, hey, I'm going to build a new website. Again, you can make the website building offer work. I'm sure of that because many graphic design or web design agencies out there, tons of them. But at the same time, I just love lead gen because if you go, I'm going to generate you this amount of leads a month, one's going to close, guaranteed ROI, boom, just super good for beginner, and it's quite simple to learn ads, right? You can be good at ads, just a few hours of research. So in terms of what to offer for paid ads, this is what I'm special at, so I can teach you. Facebook's going to be your best bet. So there's minimal exceptions with this, with Google Ads currently being the best for real estate, which is just one example I can think of. But for anything like landscaping, roofing, interior design, car remodeling, car detailing, Facebook is much better. So local business stuff that's actually providing a service and you go to the house or whatever, a lot of time Facebook's gonna be better. Again, one exception is real estate, which is Google Ads right now is working better for me. But anything else, I recommend you learning Facebook ads. Just the best way to do it, the best way to target. Facebook's algorithm is quite good. So learn Facebook ads. If I was a beginner in Facebook ads and you don't have money to spend on a course or something like that, or get mentor, just literally go on YouTube and look at the top 50 Facebook ads videos out there. Learn how to retarget, learn how to create lookalike audiences, learn the targeting for your niche. Again, this is just very basic stuff. Please research the hell out of Facebook ads before you provide service and actually know what you're offering. Because again, when you know how to run the ads and you know how to explain it to someone else, it also helps you much better on the sales calls. Because then if they ask what the process is like or how you set it up, how you're going to retarget the leads, what's the cost per lead, and you've watched 50 Facebook ad videos on this stuff, you're going to know what to say because you have that education. You know what you can actually offer and what you can say in terms of how to set everything up, how to get them on Ads Manager, etc. So just watch as much as you can, learn the basics, very beneficial. Next tip in terms of your back end is going to be automating literally as much as you can. Because I'm of the thought, if you can make a robot do it as good as a human, automate the hell out of it. Like, just outsource it. Again, there's the leverage pyramid by Naval. I'd recommend Googling it if you can. It goes labor at the bottom. That's the least amount of leverage. Then it goes capital. You're investing into other businesses. Then at the top, it's content. So what I'm doing right now. And then code. So if there's code that can actually do everything for you, can manage the business for you, can send automation follow-ups, can be a CRM, auto-tracking the leads where they are, it's fantastic. It saves you so much time. And the robot's going to be doing it better than you because you're human, you make mistakes. So if the CRM can track everything, move everything for you, follow up with leads, automation, just do it as much as you can. And again, this also relieves a lot of the pressure from your clients when they don't have to manage anything with no follow-ups and no text reminder, email reminders. And it's just very helpful for the client when you have a system that you can offer them that does everything for them. So this is Go High Level. This is what I use. That's the software I use that does everything for me. Look up Go High Level tutorials. Go through that. I think it's going to help you a lot. So there's going to be a point in your agency where you're probably at like 20 to 50K at that point a month with your agency. You just don't have a lot of time to do the service delivery anymore. Maybe your sales calls are booking up your calendar and your closer's calendar, and you're busy with your outreach systems. Completely understand that. I was there. You're going to want to hire out the service delivery at some point. And this is only when you're too busy. When you're still doing it, I'd recommend, like, if you have the time, still do it. But when the time comes, you're going to want to hire it out. So there's going to be one option here where it's a media buyer or a VA. So media buyer is someone who runs your ads, is experienced with ads, basically does the ads for you, or a VA where you can pay them $5 an hour or something like that from the Philippines. And then you basically just make SOPs, so standard operating procedures, which I was getting back at earlier, or you literally walk them through your process on how you do it. So videos, I love doing looms like this. See, I'm recording this on Loom. Just make a bunch of looms, actually walking them through how to go on Ads Manager, how to run the ads, how to target the area that this client is in that you just signed, how to set up Go High Level on them, onboard them to Go High Level, everything. So if you have everything mapped out, again, SOP'd, where you record one video, then every single client you sign, this VA can replicate exactly what you just did. Very, very helpful, right? Very helpful. With the VA, you can pay them per hour, or if you get a media buyer who's kind of top talent, who's really good at what they do, you might want to pay them per deal close, like a commission or something like that. But again, there's different payout structures for all these things, but it's just something to consider when you have that much actual clients coming in the door and you need help with that stuff. So lastly here, I just put a disclaimer called the theory of constraints. So in business, there's a theory of constraints. I've talked about this before, where every system is held up by the constraint. So if you're getting the ads actually only booking about half as it should, there's probably a constraint with the ads. If you're having people not respond to your follow-ups, not show up to the meetings, it's a constraint with the show-up system. So on every portion of your business, at every stage of the business, you're going to have constraints in the business that you need to actually fix. So super important where you actually take a high-level overview of the business, see what other metrics people are getting, see what you can improve, split test things that are going wrong, split test scripts that aren't doing as they should consistently. Because again, if you're not growing, you're dying in business. If you're not adapting, the market's always changing. Someone's going to copy you and probably do it better. So always evolve every portion of the business, but the first thing you should evolve and change is the portion that's just not working well. So look at the leaky buckets. This is what my business partner and I call them, and it's where the people are falling through, where they're not converting, where the spots that the client experience isn't the best, right? You can be wasting client satisfaction with literally like one message at like when you're onboarding them, and they might not like that message, or you're not communicating with them enough. Just look at these things where you think can be improved and just improve them. Super simple stuff, but you want to improve the constraints literally as much as you can. So notice where the bottlenecks are always and improve the bottlenecks. So I hope you enjoyed the video, just a high level overview again of what I'd recommend to a beginner, how the agency game looks, what to do. If you want this document, I have a free group in the description. I also do weekly coaching calls in there where you can ask me questions like completely for free. So just join that in the description. I have a full guide of this stuff in there as well. So I'd recommend joining. If you're new here, subscribe, that'd be amazing, and I'll see you later. Bye.